Ever wonder what separates a good idea from a really great one? The kind that actually succeeds out in the real world? Well, a lot of the time it comes down to one thing: competitor analysis. And today, we're going to break down exactly how to use it as your secret weapon.
So, you've got this awesome idea, right? That spark of genius. But then, you're kind of just staring at a blank page. Where do you even start? How do you make sure the thing you're building isn't just another thing, but something that actually makes a real impact?
Well, here's the thing. The biggest risk you can take, it isn't having a bad idea. Nope. The real danger is designing in a total vacuum, creating something that's completely disconnected from what's already out there. And to avoid that trap, you've got to understand the world your idea is about to step into. That, my friends, is where market analysis comes in.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the why. Why even bother with this? Because, a lot of folks hear competitor analysis, and they immediately think it's just like spying on the other guys. But trust me, it is so much more strategic than that. And this really gets to the heart of it. We have to shift our mindset. The common myth is that you're just mindlessly copying what someone else did, like peeking over their shoulder during a test. But the strategic reality? It's about learning what's working, what's not working, and most importantly, why. You're not trying to imitate, you're trying to find your own unique angle. So yeah, the real goals here have nothing to do with spying, it's all about discovery. You're on a mission to identify those opportunities, those gaps in the market. You're trying to really get a handle on what users actually expect. And ultimately, you're hunting for that one special thing, your unique differentiator that's going to make people choose your solution. And here's the crucial point, right? The whole reason we're doing this. It's to make sure your solution is actually competitive and relevant. You want it to thrive out there in the real world, and this process is how you make sure you're planting it in fertile ground. Okay, so we've covered the why. Now it's time to get our hands dirty with the what. Let's open up your investigation toolkit and see exactly what to look for and where to find it.
First up on our list, market trends. And I want you to think about this like watching the ocean tide. You're not just looking at where the water is right this second. You're trying to figure out which way the current is flowing. Where are things headed? What are users going to expect tomorrow, not just today?
And here it is, your 4-point investigation plan. It's a super solid playbook. First, you analyze your competitors' strengths. Then, you dig into their weaknesses. After that, you dive deep into what actual users are saying in reviews and feedback. And finally, you pull back and look at industry reports to see the bigger picture. It's this awesome cycle of zooming in and zooming out. And I really want to zero in on that weaknesses part for a second, because this is huge. Digging into what your competitors are doing wrong, that's where you find the gold. Every single one-star review, every frustrated user comment, that's not just noise. It's a giant flashing sign pointing to where you can innovate. So when it comes down to it, your number one goal is this: find the pain points. What are those common frustrations that pop up again and again no matter which competitor you look at? That's your bullseye. All right, so you've done all this digging, you've gathered a ton of great insights. Now what? Well, this is the fun part. It's time to turn all that research into real, smart design. Let's see how we go from insight to action. Basically, all that analysis you did, it acts like a powerful filter for your ideas. It tells you which features you absolutely have to prioritize. It shows you which ones you could enhance to make them even better. And maybe most importantly, it screams at you which features you should just avoid completely. It really guides your decision-making. And what's so powerful about this is that it anchors your entire prototype to reality. You're not just guessing anymore or working off some abstract idea you had in the shower. No, you are building a solution based on real, observable user needs. It's grounded. Which brings us to the final section. And honestly, this might be the biggest payoff of all. This isn't just about building a better thing. It's about having the ultimate credibility boost, being able to justify why your solution is the right one. See, when you get to the end of your project, the goal isn't just to create a good design. It's to show that you've created a meaningful improvement that's built on a solid foundation of, you guessed it, carefully observed market dynamics. It's not a guess, it's a calculated move. And what do you get from all that? The result is one simple, incredibly valuable thing: credibility. So just imagine your next big presentation. When you walk in with this kind of research backing you up, you're doing so much more than just showing off a design. You're demonstrating your strategic thinking. You're strengthening the justification for every choice you made.
You're basically laying this rock-solid foundation that gives everyone in the room confidence to move forward. And that's the real magic, isn't it? You're not just showing people what you made, you're telling them the story of why you made it. And that story, backed by data and research, is way more powerful.
So, I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. Now that you know how to map out the entire landscape, what's that gap that your solution is going to fill? What's the pain point you're going to solve? Go on, go find it.